Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement, presented by Barstool Sports, and a very special penultimate edition of the Last of Us recap of My Mom's Basement, and also Rogue One. We're doing Rogue One. We said we're keeping the Andor celebrations going. It was a great idea by Clem, so I hope you rewatched it. If you haven't, you could pause this and go rewatch it and come back to the podcast. But we're going to be recapping and reviewing both. I don't know if reviewing Rogue One is really the word, but just looking back on it. 10 years, 10 years past or 9 years past.
A recap review. I don't even know. I mean, it is kind of like a review now that our eyes have been opened with the Andor, right? We have another piece of the puzzle. And then if you guys really want to get down and dirty, if you've already watched Rogue One or you haven't, pause the podcast, then watch A New Hope, because I feel like I'm going to have a couple of New Hope takes in here as well. Get Empire going. And I haven't rewatched Jedi, but I'm going to probably rewatch Jedi in the next week. For the people that can't see on the pod, I got my Star Wars shirt on. I bought this shirt like a week before Andor finale. Empire Strikes Back, $10 at Old Navy. Absolute ridiculous price.
Nice.
And I'm in the wars, Bob. I haven't been this deep in the wars since probably around Force Awakens, I'd say, was the last time I had this much bubbly Star Wars inside of me. We have Fortnite going on with AJ, so he's into the wars now. He's watching these movies. He watches the movies with me. Then he watches the Family Guy parodies with me afterwards. So it's really gotten the fan base to a point that probably hasn't been since we started doing stuff together. You know?
Yeah. No, I mean, Mandalorian was huge, no doubt, when Mandalorian came up, and that was like a big thing for the fan base. But it's not just you. You look at the Battlefront 2 numbers, it's up day by day. Like more and more people are going back to that game and playing it. You look at the Disney Plus numbers, the top 10, Rogue One has been number 1 for a few days now. And there's also like 4 or 5 projects all within the top 10, all also around the Rogue One time. It's like episode 3, episode 4, Rogue One, everything in that time period, people are going back and rewatching. It's crazy. But Star Wars fans are like back in. Fortnite obviously is a huge factor. We're going to be playing Fortnite as we record this. We haven't done it yet, but when this goes out, it probably will have already happened. A little after school stream. So go and check it out on the My Mom's Basement YouTube. AJ Clem is going to be trying to carry me and Clem through some Fortnite matches. And I practiced last night, Clem. I was sending you some screenshots. Wasn't going good for me. Placed 99th, 97th, 98th. It was like people were saying that's impressive. There's usually not that many people in a game. And I was not doing well. But I'm excited to play with AJ Clem.
I think Bob died on the bus at least one of those games. Like, I've never seen anyone die on the bus as it's flying. Like, the balloon got hit by a laser and just crashed in the ocean and Bob died. That, honestly, I was like, impressive. Most impressive. This guy got a 99 on there. So some people say it's hard to get 99th at first, right? So AJ Clem has, like, he just racks up battle royales or victory royales pretty consistently. So I think he's going to lead us. It's gotten to the point where I watch him and his fingers move like the people when he builds. He's building like a crazy person. He's dropping. To drop a gun, it takes me like a full minute to be like, all right, hit this button,
yeah,
wrong button, this button. And like he's just ordering them. He goes, Dad, I'm going to do this. What is it called? Like, I'm going to do the mythic challenge where you only have mythic weapons and win a battle royale with just like, what the hell are you? You're 7 years old and he just turned 7. So I hope he's going to lead us to a victory royale. I think it's going to be an absolute blast. And he's already like, I got him the battle pass so we can get all his little Star Wars stuff. He's already gotten everything unlocked. He is he's ready. Now, this is the thing. They did this kind of dirty in Fortnite too, Bob. Obviously, I am a Darth Jar Jar truther. They just unveiled Darth Jar Jar. He's in the store, but he's in the store and he's in between how much V-Bucks you have to spend. So you basically have to spend like $30 just to get enough V-Bucks to get him. And then you're going to have leftovers. Plus, you have to get 1.28 million XP, which I don't even know how much that is. So I have to then grind on Fortnite to then have the privilege to spend like $15 essentially on Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah, if it's a pay to play, why isn't it? It's like pay to play and then also play until you unlock them.
Yeah, it's like I feel like I am essentially Cassian Andor, like working to make the Death Star. Like I feel like I am just be a slave to this big corporate conglomerate, but at the same point, like I got to get Darth Jar Jar. Like I have Thanos is my one skin that I bought. Darth Jar Jar will be the second. And then, I mean, R2, there's not a lot of guys. Big E, there's not a lot of people that I have on the list of guys I need a skins for, but Darth Jar Jar is one, which I just had to share this with you in the pod. I haven't told you this yet. Someone was like, if Darth Jar Jar was real, which he is, if the Emperor's in Fortnite is canon, his return, so is Darth Jar Jar's announcement. What would Darth Jar Jar's Sith name be?
Ooh, Darth. How do you relate it back to like Gungans, to Naboo, maybe to Boss Nass? I don't know.
I'll give you the punchline because I thought Darth Amisa.
Oh, there's a punchline. I thought we were just coming up with this. Okay, what's the punchline?
The answer in the Reddit thread, the best one that I saw, Darth Sidious.
Oh, that's really good. Oh, that is the punchline. Yeah, that's game over. Yeah, that's like game, set, match. That's really fucking good. I had such an embarrassing moment last night where Devlin's been telling me, oh my God, it's so much fun once you get a lightsaber, you get force abilities. They come with, the lightsabers and stuff.
You fly X-Wings and TIE fighters.
Oh, I did that. I flew an X-Wing, crashed it into the ground, didn't get a single kill with it. But then I get a lightsaber. I meet up with the Emperor on the fucking map. I go into a warp thing. I come out of it with a red lightsaber. I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. The second I come out of the warp thing, I hear, get hit by a car. Someone fucking with the Emperor skin did a fucking Dua Lipa dance on my dead body. Dua Lipa was playing right over my dead. And of course, they picked up the lightsaber. Or no, it wasn't an Emperor skin. It was fucking Darth Maul. And it was like Darth Maul picked it up. I was humiliated.
He's shaking that red ass right in your face and taking your lightsaber.
Yeah.
That's fun.
And it was he hit the horn to like almost give me the warning I'm coming as soon as I can. Boom.
I don't want to make this too weird, but I have to question. Does Darth Maul, does he have like a red ass? Does he have a black ass? Like he has like horns on his ass?
Red. I believe all the black are tattoos.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we have our answer to that. There we go.
So I don't know. He might be tatted down there too, though. It might be like in traditional like Samoan tribal tattoos go over the ass.
Really? We are. Yeah. This is why you tune into the basement. Occasionally, we have SAT words. Sometimes we have SAT fun facts.
Yeah, the Samoans, they do a lot of fighters have this. You'll see sometimes, not just Samoans too, like Pacific Islander tattoos and stuff. They'll do leg tattoos that go up over the ass and like to the mid back range, and I'm sure they are extremely painful. I've heard the ass is not fun to get tattooed.
I'm looking at Maui here too. Like Maui's tattoos, I feel like they do go up that grass skirt a little bit. So I don't know where they stop, where they begin, and where they end. So great call, Bob.
As far as basement keeping, I'm just going to tell people subscribe to the channel. Make sure to follow us on TikTok, My Mom's Basement on there as well. I think it's My Mom's Basement podcast on there, but if you look it up, you'll find it. And also check out the stream that we are doing or did today, depending on when you're listening to this. Go on the channel, make sure to click on the live tab, and you'll see a bunch of the streams. Today is also the official 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. So I wanted to shout that out as well. It was the day that Revenge of the Sith and The Phantom Menace hit theaters, both of them May 19th babies. 26 years for The Phantom Menace, 20 years for Revenge of the Sith.
I was going to make the Rico Bosco, why would you release a big movie like that on a Monday joke, but I will not do that. I will not feed into Rico Bosco's little bits. I will not do it.
All right, before we get into The Last of Us, let's tell everyone about Game Time. We absolutely love Game Time. It's getting closer and closer to the return of Oasis. And I don't know if you could get tickets overseas for them, but in America, you for sure can on Game Time. And they don't make it easy to buy concert tickets these days. You got to sign up for the pre-sale. You get in the queue. By the time you get through, sometimes the best seats are already taken. It's messed up. Going to a concert should be about the show itself, not waiting in the virtual line. Just take in the experience of the concert. Don't even worry about the stress of tickets, because when you use Game Time, it's 2 taps. It's that easy. You hit a couple taps, send the tickets to your friends if you want. Have your friends send you the tickets. I always use Game Time. It's the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. They make getting tickets faster and easier. And if you wait closer to showtime or Game Time, the prices will go down. That's Yankees, Mets, Knicks, wherever you want to go.
Bing bong.
Bing bong. We friggin' got the Celtics out of there. We're on to the next round. Knicks, Pacers, just like the WWE foretold. It's crazy. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code MMB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code MMB for My Mom's Basement for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game Time. We love Game Time. All right. on to The Last of Us season 2, episode 6, the penultimate episode in season 2. Sad. Let me just say that right off the bat. Just sad. Like I watched the entire episode pretty captivated. Like I thought the acting was amazing. Obviously, anytime Pedro Pascal's on my screen and fucking any TV show, movie, late night show, I'm captivated. My eyes are glued to the screen. It was just sad, Clem. Even the happy scenes are sad because you know what's coming.
So that was the thing. I'm like, I was trying to think of the word to describe it, and I guess sad is probably the word. What does they say? Grief is joy without a target or something like that, or there's some line that hits pretty good. But that's how you feel. Like Joel is dead, and I said, but so they're showing all this stuff about how great Joel was as a dad, and then obviously the fights they had. And I said, HBO, you know what? Just go for it. Just show me every minute that Abby beat the fuck out of Joel just to end this episode, and then followed by the golf club, and then like let's just go full fucking like let's just ruin my soul, because in case like whatever little parts of me were still alive after that episode, they're just putting into a fucking paper shredder, then lighting on fire, and then shitting all over and flushing down the toilet. It was just not cool. I did not enjoy that one bit. I did enjoy it though. That's the thing.
I know it's fucked up. I think Gaz responded to my tweet last night, and he was like, "Not one episode have I left feeling good, and yet I come crawling back for more every single Sunday." It's crazy because there's a lot of positive scenes. The scenes where Joel goes and finds Legos for Seth's grandkids, the scenes where he's getting the birthday cakes made for Ellie, they're so nice, and you're like, "Oh, Joel's the best." And then like 2 seconds later, it hits you like, "Oh, and he had a very horrible death that we can never take back." It's like, what the fuck, man?
Joel was the best is then what you remember.
He was
like, okay,
the best.
He was the best. And now he is very dead, and he died in a fucked up, gruesome fashion. And then you're like, this world just sucks. Why do I come to this world every night at 9:00 on Sunday? Why do I do this? And by the way,
and it was brilliant. Yeah. Go ahead.
Grief is love with no place to go. That's a fucking banger of a line. And I heard that a few months ago, and I've kind of it's stuck in my head. And that kind of is what this episode is, because it's
what's the WandaVision line? There's one like that in WandaVision.
Is there a WandaVision line?
Yeah. Look up WandaVision grief, because there was a banger of a quote from WandaVision too. It's very much like that.
I'm gonna try to do my Bettany, right? Because Bettany says it.
Yeah.
What is grief if not love persevering?
That was it. Yeah, it's almost the same exact line. Yeah. But it was fucking absolutely banger of a line in the finale. I like the episode kicking off with young Joel and Tommy, like seeing that Joel has been looking out for people his entire life. Also, shout out Swordsman, their dad. Actual good casting, I feel like. I could buy him as the dad of Pedro Pascal back then.
Yeah, you saw the two guys together, two kids, and you're like, okay, I think this is going to be Joel and Tommy. I think this is going to be Tommy. And then that comes in, you're like, all right, I got it all squared away now. And it just felt like it and the characters even looked like young Joel and Tommy. And then you see the dad, and you're like, this all works. Yeah, the flannel. That my wife said that. She goes, oh, you got the flannel on. So
I like that.
That was awesome, man. I love that as well. Joel, let's just call it what it is. Brother of the Year. Whatever, 1983. At least we'll give him the Austin chapter for Brother of the Year in 1983 because he's like, go up, I'll take the belt. And you just kind of see the kind of dude Joel is all the way back then. Awesome.
And you get that line in the opening scene, I hope you do a little better than me, that Joel obviously brings back around in the final scene with just, if they didn't get your heartstrings with the entire episode, they fucking took a hedge clipper to him there at the end with, I hope you do a little better than me. But, they got you.
We talk about what it's like watching this series with your 10-year-old daughter, and there are definitely some bumps along the way. And I said, Sienna, I just want you to remember that line. I just want you to remember that because we're getting the preteen. We've been getting the preteen glimpses for the last couple of years, and especially in the last few weeks. So it's like, just remember, like, we're trying our best. We don't know what we're doing. It's a road. There's no roadmap. Even when we look, you can lean on your parents all you want, but you're just flying blind. You're not using the targeting computer like Luke. You're just fucking going on the boards, and you're going on the stuff that you remember worked with your parents, didn't work. What works for you, what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And this dad's clearly doing the same. I guess, have they mentioned what happens to, is the mom, it seems like she's not around. So I don't know if she died or she just, I don't know.
Unless I forgot it from season 1, but I don't think it did. Yeah.
What happened
I'm
to
not sure
Joel's
about that.
mom? Last of Us. Let's see if Google can give us anything. Sarah, Joel's daughter. Blah, 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 blah. Oh no! So apparently, well, Sarah's mom left Joel. So I got the answer to that one. I don't know what happened if Joel's mom was not around, but we know.
Yeah.
We know his wife left as well. So tough breaks for our guy Joel.
I do got to give them credit and take something back. I don't think I took this back last week. When we had Liam Crowley on, I gave The Last of Us some shit for Ellie picking up that guitar and playing it right away without tuning it. And then I rewatched the episode and realized she fucking tuned it. So I was like, oh, I'm the asshole being like, they didn't tune it. When that scene was probably put in there, just them thinking like there's going to be some fucking asshole that says that the guitar wouldn't be tuned. And every guitar scene since then, they've had a quick scene, like even if it's two strings, they fucking tune it up real quick. I thought the guitar repair scene in this episode where Joel like cuts the fucking bridge out of the bone and he puts it in and he puts an inlay in the fretboard. I thought that was almost as satisfying as the Woody repair scene in Toy Story. I wanted the Joel guitar repair extended cut. Like, show me 10 minutes of Pedro Pascal fixing that fucking guitar.
You see the amount of work he puts for what's that little bone that he has? Is that like another pick or something?
I think it's just a bridge. Like, do I have a guitar over here? It's just like the bridge of the guitar. Pick up, shout out Nick Hamilton's guitar. It's just this part where the strings would go over it, and on an acoustic guitar, you need that where it's like it gives I think it gives them a little like it fixes the tension and the way the strings are inlaid from the frets. Yeah.
Okay, so those were important because I was feeling I thought he was doing a lot of that work just for like like a visual thing. But I said to my wife, I go, you really do appreciate how everything in this world you have to fight for, you have to barter for. He talks about the coffee later on. And just to like get all this stuff to make this guitar, because you can't just go to fucking the Guitar Center and pick up a guitar. You just really do appreciate it. And I mean, hey, Joel, make room on your trophy shelf next to the Brother of the Year, because I think he wins Dad of the Year for this year with the guitar. He definitely wins it. And did you notice the easy baby girl he had to her early in the episode?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
but what he called Sarah, right?
Yeah, once you hear the baby girl, you know Joel's in dad mode, because that's what he used to call Sarah, and you hear it for the first time with Ellie, I believe, after she beats that fucking monster David and kills him and goes out of the fucking fire cabin like all disheveled, not knowing what's going on, and he kind of like hugs her, says easy baby girl. God damn this fucking show, man. You're a factory of sadness. See you next Sunday. Thank God it's only 7 episodes. You know, I was like,
I know.
Like, I don't need this shit in my life.
We could only handle it in short spurts. It's like, all right, let's fucking take a year off and we'll get back to it next year.
The NFL keeps expanding the season as the Giants keep getting worse. And I'm like, no, 7-week seasons from now on, NFL. How does that sound?
Obviously, Ellie burns herself. That was something we knew was coming, but she does it. It's sad to see like a young Ellie do it. This was also an episode where we've talked a lot about the Bella Ramsey casting. It's been such a like narrative of this season. Is Bella Ramsey miscast in this? Whatever. I think she's very obviously better at playing a young Ellie than an older Ellie. The 5 years later Ellie is a little bit harder to buy. I still buy it. I'm still on her side on this one. But when she's playing a younger Ellie and a little more innocent, I felt her performance was a lot more believable, like in this episode in particular.
See, that's why I didn't have a problem with the season 1, Ellie. I'm sure people have had a problem this whole time, especially if you play the games, which I'm sure if some of my favorite games, like if I watched the Final Fantasy VII show, I'd probably be like, well, this character, that's not her. She's not nearly believable enough. That's just how it goes. As someone that has other than I played probably 15 minutes of the game and I was like, this is way too scary for me. I can't compare it to that. But I also do have that criticism where I think when her and Gina are together, it just seems like they're just silly. And then I'm watching an episode like this, and I'm like, okay, now I understand the Nora scenes. That's the kind of Ellie I can understand now. She's gone dark, and she's going to get revenge for this guy that gave her all these great memories. And then it's like we're just fucking around and, playing guitars and singing. And I'm just like, in a world where literally anything living or not living can kill you. It just seemed crazy to me.
Yeah. Then Joel plays her a heartbreaking song on the guitar, which I looked up because I was thinking, like, was that a song? Was that an original song for the show? Funny enough, it's a Pearl Jam song from 2013. So Joel predated the Pearl Jam song. You must have heard Eddie Vedder record a demo of that somewhere. It's called Future Days by Pearl Jam.
That was in, I believe the last episode ended with that as well, or 2 episodes. Like I saw,
was it
in the
that
closed
one? I remember
captions, it said Future Days Pearl Jam, and I go, oh, Seattle band. They're in Seattle, right? Pearl Jam, Seattle band.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, you have to know what their original name was. I know it because I'm a basketball fan. Do you know?
I'm not a Pearl Jam guy at all, so no.
Okay. They originally called Mookie Blaylock, or at least that was one of their names, and he was an old NBA player, and it's just the greatest name, Mookie Blaylock. I love that name. And then when I heard they were Mookie Blaylock, I'm like, well, that's fucking incredible. Shout out to whoever came up with that name, Eddie Vedder. I became a Pearl Jam fan for life, just based on that fun fact alone.
Yeah, they're one of my biggest like blind spots. I'm not like a hater. I've just never like fully clicked with their music.
And again, my biggest fan, I mean, I like a couple of their big hits, and I bought a couple of their albums. I probably listened to all the commercial hits, and that was it. But I got nothing in my love for Pearl Jam, a.k.a. Mookie Blaylock.
I thought maybe the saddest scene of the episode was the museum scene where he brings her to the dinosaur in the woods. They go to the museum. He tells her, you got to pick an astronaut helmet, you know, and gives her the rock, pick which one you want to wear. Just seeing him be an awesome dad. Like I actually had in my notes, Joel being a great dad in the museum is so fucking sad to watch. And then I went back and I erased the word great. And I said, Joel being an awesome dad in the museum is so fucking sad to watch. He was an awesome dad.
I mean, make some room on that trophy shelf next to the brother of the year and the dad of the year, because I think we might have a dynasty starting for dad of the year. That's what I thought at the time. Because I think the museum one trumps the guitar is a lot of work. The museum one, it's like he probably did a lot of work for that, because like they're not going to go to a place where he thinks there's any chance she's going to be in danger, right?
Yeah,
and
he knows greased up the planetarium.
Yep, exactly. Almost like someone greased it. Like, and as a dad, you know the amount of work that goes into the birthdays and the Christmases and all this kind of stuff. And I did say to Sia, I'm like, man, look at just how nice a dad she has right there. Just, you know, they do everything for her. And she's like, yeah, Dad, I know. Stop giving it to me right now. And I said, I sure hope, because my birthday's in 2 days. And I'm like, I sure hope you guys have a gift just as thoughtful lined up for me, you know, in 2 days.
It is 2 days away. This is the Clem birthday episode, too.
This is the Clem birthday episode. Yeah, extravaganza. We'll throw the extravaganza tag on this one.
What are you, 30 this year?
Yeah, 30.
Hey!
God damn it. Oh, you're how close are you to 30, Bob? You're like 3 years away, right?
I'll be 27 in July.
Oh my God. Once the babies start turning 30, like that was like you, Balls, Smokes, all like that next generation.
Yeah, Smokes 30. Is close. Smokes is 1 year away, I think.
He doesn't like it.
Well, I guess his birthday just passed, I think. Yeah.
But would you say the astronaut, I think the astronaut scene was like the most like that. I think that the gift and her reaction to it, like that's something. A guitar is very thoughtful. Something you could hold, but I feel like that little moment she had, where how the fuck did he track those tapes down? I
know, yeah.
A lot of work. I'm like, a lot of work is to get like a can of fucking SpaghettiOs. You're getting
this is a miracle, yeah,
a miracle. Yeah, this was a miracle. This is more of a miracle than if they had discovered the cure from Ellie. He gets it, and even though I'm some people might not have liked how they turned. It actually animated into her like living as the person flying into space. I thought that was cool, and I think it's one of those things that like that would be like the last thing before you die as your life goes through your eyes. You probably remember that as like your most cherished moment. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome too. I loved like the immersiveness. Like she was buying into it all the way. Like she was just like having such a good time on her birthday. It was like again, it's just like
we were having a
sad
good time
to watch happiness. Yeah. And then it comes crashing down very quickly.
Did you see that Joel too had the tear as he was watching her? And I was like, I mean, again, fuck you, HBO. Actually, you know what? This one was still technically on Max. So I'm going to say fuck you, Max. I won't say fuck you, HBO, because they're not changing HBO Max for like another month or so.
And then he gets her the chocolate cake the next year, which we knew was a little harder to get chocolate than vanilla. Yep. So he went through the extra effort. The name was spelled right this time. It wasn't Eli, it was Ellie. And he goes to give it to her in the room. He hears some chatter in the room. She was, I don't know, it wasn't sex. It wasn't an experiment, but probably, I don't know, some smooching was happening in that room with her new tattoo artists. And I thought there was a really funny moment in this scene where he's like, 17, by the way. She's like, well, I'm 19. So And he just gives her a look like, get the fuck out of here. And that look Pedro Pascal gave her cracked me up.
I have to admit, it kind of gave me some hope about humanity when like they still do have like the age of consent in this lawless, godless world that they live in. I was like, all right. And granted, it's Jackson, which is like a place where there are rules and
it's a community,
civilization, a community established. So I was like, all right, that's good. But yeah, man,
Joel, a little homophobic though too. He was like, a girl, you don't know what you're saying. Like, he didn't know how to process that.
Experimenting and all these kind of words, and it's like Joel's from Texas. I don't know. I
and
know
it's 2004, whatever. You know, like they're not. It's not now, but you know, time stopped in 2002. The world was a different place. It was.
Yes, I think I had read that like the outbreak would have happened before like gay marriages were legalized and all that kind of stuff. So you do have to kind of think that the world just stopped and probably goes backwards in their views for a lot of that stuff when the fucking entire world is falling apart. And again, Joel being from a different world, different time, all that kind of stuff.
Even later, you know, or earlier, rather in this season, later in the episode, they show a flashback of it. But all that stuff, world's a little bit more of a rough around the edges place.
Yes, and I don't know, like you said. Did you say smooching?
Yeah, I think smooching. I mean,
it was at least smooching.
The buttons were coming down too. There's probably some hand stuff, if we're being honest.
Is hanky panky? Hanky panky doesn't mean the whole we're going home run, right? Hanky panky could be second, third. It's like an extra base hit, right? There was some hanky panky going on there.
That sounds like it was used in the 40s. I don't know if hanky panky could be anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. That's like a 40s term. But, I mean, we're leaving it innocuous on purpose. Like we don't want to know.
Yeah.
But there was. It wasn't just like pecking. At the very least, there wasn't.
No, probably not. Also, I was thinking like, as a guy with currently fresh tattoos on my arm, I was like, Jesus Christ, that's like not the time to be smooching. That thing's gonna get infected. And well, I guess maybe she's immune to tattoo infections. Maybe she's immune to all infections.
All infections.
Yeah.
I love it though. When she's like, you know, sex, drugs with the weed, and like rock and roll with the tattoos. Like,
he puts the joint out. He's like, what the fuck is going on? Like the urgency with which he was putting that joint out made me laugh. You know what else made me laugh was the next scene when he goes and sits down with Catherine O'Hara. She's like, do I have a fucking sign around my neck like I'm Lucy from Peanuts? Like that line, the way she delivers it. Not a friendly person, but a very funny line. And then she tells him about the moth. The moth means death. At that point, I was like, go find her some pop punk cassettes because she needs them. She's got a Nirvana poster on the wall. She's practicing her questions for Joel right before he barges in. That was like a oh shit scene. She's getting ready to ask him about everything. But she needs some fucking pop punk cassettes.
Maybe she like, does this story just end with Ellie moving to Seattle and just getting really into Nirvana and shit like that? Like, and a little bit of old Pearl Jam. Maybe. I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that being the case. It was also just good to know that Gail fucking stunk before Eugene died. It's not like she was this, you know, beacon of light for the town, and then her husband died and she became this fucking raging alcoholic bitch. She was a bitch beforehand. And I get it. Hey, everyone's cut from different cloths. Goddamn, guy's going through some stuff with his kid that he's raising on the fly. You have to throw the fuck. The Lucy line was good though. At the same point,
it was funny.
I will say that was funny. I laughed at that. And she's also, this is the other thing though. She's a Tigers fan. She's probably a fan of Detroit sports. Detroit sports. So that's before the Pistons win. Lions were garbage that whole time. You know, they obviously had Sanders retire early. They don't even get the Megatron years to really enjoy that. Let's see. The Tigers.
It's a miserable existence. It is.
And the Red Wings had a run, but if you're not a hockey fan, you don't care about the Red Wings. You kind of want some of the other teams. So, I mean, fuck Gail, but at the same point, I understand.
Then we get Ellie's first patrol, which is her birthday present this year. And it goes badly pretty quickly. Like Joel tells her it's the safest patrol, and she's kind of like, oh, great. Like I get to have no fun on my birthday. And then you get the visual of the horse running in the fucking woods with the body it's dragging, like the rider that used to be on top of it. Holy shit. That was one of those classic like zombie movie visuals where you're like, oh my God, it's about to go down. And then we find out Eugene is fucking Ralph Cifaretto. He was in witness protection after The Sopranos. He changed his name to Eugene, married Catherine O'Hara. And we see why Eugene's death was so sad. He was bit. He's begging and pleading to go back and say his final words. And Joel kind of tells him he can, starts leading him. Ellie's really pressuring Joel, like does the whole handout thing, count to 10, and Joel shoots him. Then they go back and Joel tells Ellie, like, let's just fucking tell his wife that Everything was fine. Good death. Joel tells him, had to do it. He did it himself. Then Ellie just fucking completely spoils that whole plan. Tears in her eyes. She felt betrayed because he swore to her. She saw the same look in his eyes as when he swore about the hospital, and it just made her snap. And it's just sad to watch everything go down. It's sad to watch her snap like this. It's sad to watch them back on the porch, the final scene where she finally is like, what happened in that hospital? Were there raiders? What was going on there? Was there a chance for a cure? He also straight up nods his head yes, like they were going to cure the fucking thing. I don't know if that was even a foregone conclusion. I thought it was like we're going to try. We're going to have to kill her and we're going to try. But I don't even know if they knew they were going to friggin' cure humanity. It was sad to hear her be like, my life would have had purpose and you robbed that from me. And he said, I would do it all over again because I love you. The way he delivered, because I love you. Oh, it was so good. And then he hits as we mentioned before, I hope you do a little better than me line. Just a masterclass from Pedro.
I love you in a way you'll never know or understand until you have one of your own. And then, his eyes just fucking gallons. I forget about being able to cry. Being able to keep that gallonage in your eye. You can fill a 15-round pool with the amount of fucking water our boy Pedro had in his eyes there. And I was thinking the same thing. Like, he probably couldn't say, well, Ellie, it's tough to say if they were going to have a cure. Because, like,
yeah, true.
I think Kevin had said, KFC had said that, like, it wasn't a given. It didn't seem like a given to us in the show at this point. Even Marlene, I think, had said it's a chance. But also, I think KFC had said that, like, in the game, it's known that there were like 100 kids that they had tried this on and failed in the past. So I would love to have had Joel do the semantics for that. But at the same point, it's like, you're caught, your hand's in the cookie jar. He already thinks she's cutting him off for good. What's the point of even fighting it? So I kind of respected that. He just kind of was like, I'm just going to take my lumps, and if she's going to fucking dead me, she's going to dead me. But that amount of water in the eyes, Bob, I'm going to say it right now. I got our hashtag for the week.
Oh.
Hashtag Emmy for Pedro. Give the man an Emmy for basically 1.5. You know what? I was going to say just this one episode. You're giving this episode, plus you're giving the beatdown episode with the death. Emmy for Pedro. Let's fucking get it going, right?
Listen, I'm with the Emmy for Pedro always. I want to see that guy win everything. I want to see him succeed. I want to see him just win at life. I will say, I was thinking about this week. Is The Last of Us going to be nominated against Andor? Will Andor get Emmy nominations? They should. Part of me thinks because it's a Star Wars show and maybe because not as many people watched it as, say, a Mandalorian, that they'll kind of skim over it. But I hope they don't, because Andor deserves Emmy nominations for sure. Like, it should be fucking Diego Luna nominated against Pedro Pascal here, and I'm fine with either one of them winning. And you might even want to throw fucking Stellan Skarsgård in there. I don't know if you want to give him lead or supporting, but, like, there's a lot of people on Andor that I think deserve nominations, and I hope they get them.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Emmy for Pedro, Emmy for Diego, Emmy for how do you say Skarsgård? How do you say the first name?
Stellan Skarsgård, I think.
Stellan Skarsgård. There's a lot of ways it could go. Emmy for K2SO. Let's fucking throw that one out there as well. Just for his fucking comedic value to the show. There's a lot. Emmy for fucking Tony Gilroy, which again we're going to get into during our Rogue One review. There's a lot of shit, but I thought our boy Pedro acted his dick off this week, and I'm kind of mad this is probably going to be about the end of our Joel experience. And again, I would have probably been fun if they had just showed him getting killed again. Like they were like they didn't like beat us to death like Abby. They like skinned us to death. You know, like they just kept off a layer every fucking like 5 minutes. I did love though how like 1 year later, which Andor did every week. They did this, every 5 minutes or whatever with the birthday gifts. I thought that was so cool. Shout out our boy Ralph Cifaretto for just embracing the bald. He doesn't even try to wear a toupee anymore. It would have been hilarious if he was like, she was a hooah.
Yeah, just one more.
Let me talk to Gail.
I need to tell her something. I need to tell her about that hooah.
It was a fucking horse, Joel.
You hit that. It was a horse.
I was gonna say R.I.P. my dog Ralph Cifaretto. I fucking loathed Ralph Cifaretto.
No,
And
he's
the
the
first
worst.
time I watched it, he is comedic value, but you do hate him. On my rewatch of it last year, I was like, I fucking despise this cocksucker. So rest in no peace, Ralph Cifaretto, or in this case, Eugene. Do we feel like he was changing, though? I feel like Joel had to kill him there. I think we saw in his face with the eye twitch and you almost saw like the life. I don't know if they did anything to make it look like it like sucked out. And then he's like, I could see her. I think that was like, oh, that's no longer Eugene. That's fungus Eugene.
It was like, I think it was perfectly written because Joel did the right thing. I agree with you. Like, he was turning at that point. Joel had to kill him. But swearing to Ellie was the mistake. More than killing Eugene, it was swearing and letting Ellie see that same look. And I think that writing was like awesome. Like, I think that was great.
And I think that's going to probably be a lot of the Abby side of the story where you do see both sides. Because I think we've probably been there with like our parents where it's like, you promised, but then you look at it from their angle. It's like, no, they had to do that at the same point. I think they had to do it here. And I think Joel just, again, if Joel didn't have that, not even a skeleton in his closet, he had a fucking a legitimate cemetery in his closet from that
hospital
of innocent people and doctors and whatever it may be. That made it tough for him. And then, like, same with, I want to get upset at Ellie for just spilling the beans the way she did. But at the same point, like, you're a teenager. They're going to do that shit for stuff that they're right about, let alone stuff they're kind of wrong about. And when you have all that shit that's probably been burning inside her for years. So very well written. This is the kind of stuff that I love in The Last of Us. And it's the kind of stuff that I wish we had a little more of. We'll see what happens next week. And we're going to see what happens in the fucking next season. Because we didn't get any Abby. None.
Next season's the Abby season, I guess. Yeah. Like KFC said, the second half of the game is the Abby half. It has to be the Abby season. And maybe that'll get people back in. If people were kind of like so with Bella Ramsey as the leading woman as far as this season goes, maybe next season will be more for them. I don't know.
And maybe they can like give that actress steroids now that they know how mad people are. She's just gonna look like Barry Bonds,
inflatable arms like SpongeBob, like that friggin' picture of SpongeBob. All right, before we get into Rogue One, let's tell everyone about another sponsor, New Amsterdam Vodka. Let me go grab the bottle. It's right over here.
Pop the bottles, Bob.
Show everyone the new label. We got to show everyone the new label. It looks beautiful. You can see it's sleek. It's got that blue crispness to it. New Amsterdam Vodka is the official vodka of Barstool Sports. It's the official vodka of the UFC. And in our opinion, it's the official vodka of winning. That's right. It's a champion vodka. You match it up against any other vodka out there, and oh boy, it's a TKO. You know me. I'm not a big drinker. I could do vodka drinks, maybe pour a little vodka in a little green tea, do something like that. It could be great. You could mix it with soda, mix it with whatever. We talked about the Twin Suns drink last week that Clem came up with right off the top of his head. Whether you're out watching UFC at your favorite bar or hanging at home listening to us talk about it on Spin and Backfist, celebrate your wins with the insanely smooth New Amsterdam Vodka. Find your wins with New Amsterdam Vodka. Also, look out for an interview we did on Spin and Backfist with Chael Sonnen and Daniel Cormier. Great stuff, great fighters, great talkers. We were trying to keep it on topic for as far as the Ultimate Fighter went. They took it off topic at every turn, so it was very funny.
I'll ask a question after you finish the read. I just have a random question.
I did finish the read. That is the read, yeah.
So I've seen the name Daniel Cormier a lot. I don't know much about him. What Star Wars character would you compare him
to? Ooh, this is good. So Daniel Cormier, interesting. He's like he was cursed by John Jones being in his weight class. Like if John Jones didn't exist, people would talk about Daniel Cormier as one of the GOATs, but John Jones beat him at every turn. So it's kind of like he would have been. So he still is one of the GOATs. If we're being honest,
he lost to John Jones, but it's just he can never be the guy.
Yeah,
maybe like Wedge Antilles, where he's kind of the number 2 in the rebellion, where Luke was always number 1.
He's got a little more respect within the community than Wedge had. But like, as far if I know. I think
Han,
Wedge is not bad
Han?
though.
Is he Han then?
No, Wedge is probably right. But I think in the UFC community, Daniel Cormier gets more respect than Wedge got in the Rebellion community.
Okay, that's fair. Because there's really like Bad Guys is tough because the Sith only goes 2. Maybe like prequels. Are we talking like who's Anakin and who's Obi-Wan? I guess
honestly, Anakin and Obi-Wan's a good comparison for Jon Jones and Daniel Cormier. Because like
Jon
Daniel
Jones
Cormier
Obi-Wan?
did everything by the book his whole career. Jon Jones is Anakin because he went down a dark path that we can't follow.
That's true.
He's a bad guy. So I think that's pretty good. He's Obi-Wan to Jon Jones' Anakin. But, you know, Obi-Wan kind of won the fight.
He's Anakin if Anakin wins the Mustafar battle. Because it sounds like...
He's Anakin in the Revenge of the Sith video game alternate ending.
There we go. We got it.
All right, we got it.
All right, we're in Star Wars mode now.
We got there. I hope you all followed along. If you're... Even I was going to say if you're UFC Star Wars fans, but if you're not UFC fans, we just contextualized it for you. All right, Rogue One. We did the rewatch. A lot of people did the rewatch. #1 on Disney Plus. I got a lot of tweets of when I tweeted, "Oh my God, I can't believe how much better Andor makes this movie." A lot of people replied, "Hey, I just did the exact same thing. I agree. I just did the exact same thing. What'd you think about this?" So I'm excited to talk about this. I loved it when it came out. I would say it was probably a 4-star Star Wars movie when it came out for me. If Empire and A New Hope are 5-star, Return of the Jedi is probably 4.5-star, maybe a little step below that. I would put Rogue One right with like The Force Awakens or for me, The Last Jedi, but like it's in that 4-star realm for me. After watching it post Andor, I think I bump it up a 0.5 star, Clem. I think I go 4.5 now.
There's a whole lot of Star talk on this podcast when I'm pretty sure we don't use that. I mean, it is Star Wars, but I believe we use a different system on this show. Would you like to update your rankings here?
The ball scale?
Yes,
you looking for the
4.5
scale?
balls. 4.5 balls we're talking about.
4.5 balls, yeah. I don't know, because we have a couple different scales now. We have the ball scale, the fast food scale, the good or great scale. This is a great movie. I feel confident hitting the great word on this one. That's no question about it in my mind.
And we also have another scale altogether for the people that make these said movies, and that's the science scale. And I think our boy Tony... What do we say? A plaque? We're giving him a plaque down there, right?
Well, we said initially, I said he's got a sign, and we said he's got the sauce. Maybe he gets like a mug on the desk, and we'll reevaluate post Andor. He for sure gets a plaque at this point.
He gets the plaque. He has a plaque, and it says like Tony Gilroy, and then in my mind, it's neon pink. Has the sauce in fucking big letters, and he has a mug for whenever he comes in the basement. This is essentially. He might be the first member of the Basement Hall of Fame. I think he might be.
He honestly could be. Like he honestly put together a start to finish narrative in Star Wars that changed the original trilogy for the better in a way we never could have anticipated. And every time we were like, can they live up to the expectations? They did. Every time. Even watching Rogue One, I feel like I should give him like repraise the movie because I'm like, oh my God, he landed the plane with Rogue One, even though that was the start of everything.
I don't want to be like, how easy is it to do this? Could you do this to other movies? I'm like, you have to make a good fucking TV show, let alone a great one. It's so hard to do what he did, and he did it. Again, shout out the entire Gilroy clan, from Mama Gilroy, the people not even related to him. I can't believe it, dude. We liked Rogue One. We really liked Rogue One when we first saw it.
Yeah.
And now the fact that it's that much better, it's crazy to me. It's crazy that
10 years later, this rewatch for me really like recontextualizing everything 10 years later, not only through Andor, but just knowing they've tried a lot of Star Wars projects at this point. Some of them have worked, a lot of them haven't. Rogue One being the very first spinoff, it having apparent production like troubles and reshoots and all of that, and it coming out as good as it is, it's crazy. It's that much more impressive that this was the first step towards what does the Star Wars universe look like outside of the Skywalker saga, in live action, at least on the big screen. And they fucking did it. They pulled it off back then. It's even better now. Let's get into it because I have a lot of notes.
Let me just say this too. For my rating, I'm looking at here. So like we talked about on last week's podcast, I blogged my review as soon as I got out of the movie theater. And my rating at the time, this was pre-ball system, I believe. This was 2016. So this is before burgers and beers, booze and burgers. Booze and Burgers was a franchise. 8.45 out of 10. So if you do the math there, we're going, that's a 4.25 out of 5 in terms of balls. So I'm right there in terms of the pre, and it's probably up to like a 4 point. I don't think I can put it. I guess I can put 4.5. I think, but if I'm already at 4.25, is it only getting 0.25 more? All right, whatever. 4.67 balls. We're going 4.67 balls on here.
I love that they kept a galaxy far, far away to kick this off, but didn't do a crawl. That was another thing that, like, I remember leading into Rogue One. There were questions. Are they going to do I have a bad feeling about this. Are they going to show C-3PO and R2-D2? Are they going to do a crawl? Are they going to do the things that every Star Wars movie so far has done? Or are they going to break the streak in a lot of ways? I felt like this was a good way of doing it. That being said, now in hindsight, let me praise the Acolyte for a second. I think you could do a crawl without doing the crawl. When the Acolyte gave us just like, here's what the universe looks like, or it was a quick like 2-paragraph thing, you could do something like that nowadays. I also thought the like Rogue One title card, when they put Rogue One on screen and it does the little hero theme, it's good. It's fun. I don't have an issue with it. The movie could definitely have done without that. Like you watch it back and that almost was jarring to see, right?
Yep. And at this point, they're dealing with, oh God, we don't want to piss off the Star Wars fans. And we don't want to like soil the sanctity of the original trilogy, even though I think the prequels kind of did that. Which, by the way, I have a lot in my blog. Sorry, I almost puked when I saw that one of the settings was a trading post. Trading post Star Wars equals bad Phantom Menace memories. Sorry, I still have a bad taste in my mouth from typing Phantom Menace. Fuck the Phantom Menace. So everyone's like, Clem's just starting to get, Clem's negative ever since The Last Jedi. I had these feelings about the prequels way before Barstool Sports was born, let alone I got into The Last Jedi. So there's a lot of different shit in here. And I think the fandom that's, I think, the biggest takeaway from this entire Andor to Rogue One to New Hope that everyone's going through. It's reinvigorated the fan base, like you said, down to the battlefront. Everyone is just jacked up right now.
Yeah. And I remember seeing this on opening night. People were really jacked up for the first Star Wars, not prequel, spinoff. We were like, what is it going to be like and everything? Me and my brother go. I went twice on opening night, once with my sister and my brother-in-law. Then my brother gets off work late, meet him at a different movie theater, go to see it twice. And that opening shot when we see Krennic's ship coming in, I remember the people behind us, me and my brother, as excited as you could be, diehard, fucking tattoo, Star Wars, named his kids after Star Wars characters. That bumped up. The people behind us were going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, here we go, oh my God, like over the top, out loud for the whole theater to hear. And I'll never forget my brother just turned around and goes, relax. And he turns back around and we just watch the rest of the movie. It was so, and we weren't trying to rain on a parade, but also you're taking us out of the fucking movie. We're trying to immerse ourselves in a galaxy far, far away and not here like over the top fanboy. Oh my God, here we go. Oh my God, it's fucking Star Wars. Can you believe this? He just went, relax. It was a total dad moment.
I think you have to do that though to the nerds, because like that can ruin the experience for everyone else. And you should have that joy. Yeah. That joy is why these movies are made and why they keep making billions of dollars. But you can't like that. Look, relax. He said it best.
Yeah.
As usual. Mike Fox said it best.
Krennic's introduction with the Death Troopers, I wrote, is the definition of aura farming. They could have landed a lot closer, and they chose not to, so they could have the most badass looking walk of all time. I also love his line when he's talking to Galen, and Galen says Lyra's dead, and she fucking comes running up with the gun or whatever, and he's like, oh, there's Lyra, back from the dead. And he doesn't even look at her, doesn't even give her that respect. So good. The Death Trooper picking up the Stormtrooper doll, like everything about this opening is shot in such a badass, serious way. It introduces you to that Andor serious, more adult aimed Star Wars corner of the universe that Tony Gilroy fucking obviously served up on a platter for all of us here. And he did it well.
I was like, what kind of a kid has a Stormtrooper doll? And then I'm like, oh, AJ has a Stormtrooper toy, a Stormtrooper costume. The thing he wanted most in Fortnite was the Stormtrooper skin. So it kind of made sense. One of the bars that was spit there, you're confusing peace with terror. Absolute incredible line there.
Really good.
And I think we talked about this. It goes, oh, I have right here. We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close to providing peace and security to the galaxy. And then Galen says, you're confusing peace with terror. He goes, well, we have to start somewhere. I mean, our boy Krennic is cooking too. They're both cooking back and forth. Two awesome actors, obviously, that we love on the show.
Know, yeah.
And I think we might have talked about this at one point discussing Rogue One. Like, do you get almost the way he's acting dumb? It's very much like the opening scene of Inglourious Bastards, right?
Yes, totally. Right? Yes. it feels like this was like, and you get that. I felt that in Andor this season when he goes up to Bix and they're checking their citizenship or whatever. Like that stuff
Yes.
was very Inglorious Bastards to me as well. And I like the way that they made the Imperials feel like that, not only in this movie, but in Andor as well. I also wrote, how crazy is it that they gave their kids to Saw Gerrera, knowing what we know about Saw now, that they were like, this is the guy we'll trust with our child, our young girl. Yeah, it also like gives context to like, okay, Jyn Erso, yeah, her mind's all fucked up. She's like, the rebellion, no thanks, because she was raised by Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, everything that happened to her, you can't blame her for any. It's like kind of what my thing with Jenny from Forrest Gump. Everyone hates Jenny. Like that girl had a really fucked up life, and that was her biological father that fucked her up. This Saw fucked her up in a whole different way, which is probably not as bad, definitely not as bad. But the guy, like, I could see Galen talking to his wife, and he's like, she's like, but honey, he just huffs fucking gas or whatever, fuel.
Rhydonium or yeah.
And at this point, the empire and surviving and destroying them is bigger than just having your daughter get raised by like her preschool teacher or something down the road. I feel like that would have been the better way to go about it instead of a revolutionary taking on the galactic fucking empire right as soon as they establish power or are going to another level. So yeah, that's a good point. And it was great seeing Saw, right? It's like, oh, there he is. And you see the blue milk and
seeing tubes. Yeah.
Tubes. It's tubes.
First Star Wars project without John Williams as well. Not in general, Clone Wars, I know, but like first Star Wars movie without John Williams. The score's great. I think they proved that they could do it without him. Like that main hero theme feels pretty iconic. Maybe it doesn't feel as iconic as like a John Williams theme, but they weave in the John Williams themes. They do the Force theme. They hit the Force theme as they're leaving the fucking as Yavin one of the times, right? Really cool. I think it's the first Star Wars project that labels planets on screen too, which we love.
Yes, we love, and it gives you a little bit of Guardians vibes. I think we talked about, right? Yep. Or it has it in the big letters. And to be clear, I wanted to clear. All right, two things. One, we fucked up last week not having Chewbacca on our alien rankings. It was a complete oversight. I said it's almost like calling your family dog an animal, where it's like it's technically an animal. It's the pet. It's part of the family. He's not an animal or whatever. At the same point, we just completely forgot. All right, we were going on the fly. Yeah. I almost forgot Yoda. And then Baby Yoda. So I was just happy I remember that. Then we got into the Max Rebo conversation. Once you're talking Max Rebo, all bets are off. I forgot what the other. Oh, as for the Hall of Fame in the basement, I'm just letting you know, like guys like James Gunn, George Lucas, like they are already there. When the basement's built, they're already like on the fucking wall. They're already in the banners. They're already in the Ring of Honor, I guess you can say.
They built the basement.
They built the basement. Yeah, it's their fucking foundation is their fucking work. The building blocks there. So Tony Gilroy was not down the building the basement, but he's fucking here now, and he is a mug for his life. I had to just add that in. The X-Wing and then Edu fucking ruled. It just fucking ruled. Yeah. And the Rogue One song, it doesn't slap, which I don't think is even a word anymore, but it hits. It's like 1.5. It's like 1.5 balls less than slaps.
Yes, I'm with that. Yeah. Also insane how well Andor bleeds into this movie with Cassian still seeking specific details on what the weapon is, who Galen Erso is, Jedha, just knowing, okay, things are happening over Jedha. Like that opening scene, it also makes a lot more sense that he's like willing to kill this guy right away, days after Luthen's killing fucking Lonnie Jung, and he had to kill Mon Mothma's driver. I know that was at this point like a year prior to this or whatever, but everything about that makes more sense.
It makes it so cool. Like I remember being like that first scene is just, or the first couple of scenes, just way too much to take in because like I don't know any of these fucking guys. I don't know any of these planets. And with Star Wars, if you're like a casual like me, it's like, am I supposed to know these? And then if I'm not, am I missing a ton of stuff by not knowing it? And then it turns out no. Like you had to live in the Gilroy world to get all this. So this is prime example 1A of why that show just made everything else so much better right off the bat. And I have to put the hand up. This one hurts. In my blog, I said Cassian is a bootleg. It was a bootleg Oberyn Martell, and I won't hear anything otherwise. Hand up. By the way, Pedro and Diego going back.
Diego, I know, yeah.
And
Pedro, yeah.
That hurts now that I have Andor. But at the time, after one viewing of Rogue One, that's how I felt because he was built up so big, and I didn't think his role was as big. He was kind of the 1A, 1B with Jyn, and now I kind of feel like an asshole. But at that point, like you said, all this stuff happening right off the bat, you don't realize that in Andor, now you realize at the end of it, we're in the end game now. Like, we got to start making fucking things happen. And especially once the Death Star's known, they have to start, writing shit in permanent ink. They can't just be writing stuff in pencil, sneaking around, sabotage, little spy stuff. They got to start fucking making body counts and fucking winning battles here.
It does feel like crunch time. Like when you watch this, it also, I've seen posts about this. It feels a little bit more like Cassian's the main character. I know it's Jyn Erso, but watching it after Andor, you're watching it like this is Cassian's story still.
Did you realize, like, I don't know how, I don't think I felt this way during the movie the first time I watched Rogue One, but in this one, I'm like, Jyn, shut the fuck up. This guy is fucking,
yes.
He's Axis. He's like the new Axis. We don't have Luthen anymore. This is the dude. This is Luthen's guy.
It made me think of last week, us talking about how like Luke and Han fucking roll up after all the work that everyone else has put in their rebellion. These two like idiot farm boys, whatever, they roll up, they get all the credit. I was like, oh, that's just like the story of the rebellion though. Because like Jyn Erso rolls up. You just need like that one extra person that's going to tip it over and send the rebellion over the line. Like this kind of happened before Luke and Han with Jyn Erso. I also read in a comic, someone reposted this, Rogue Squadron, Luke's squadron of X-Wings, is named after Jyn Erso, and obviously it's retconned. It wasn't named after Jyn Erso in 77, but they've now made it canon that Luke was like, let's do what Jyn would have done, Rogue Squadron, which I kind of fucking love as well, because in this movie, they obviously, we could talk about later, they introduced Red 5 just to get rid of him, so that call sign's available for Luke. Like, I love that. It's like, I'm Red 5 currently, and I'm about to die. Boom. It's like, oh, there it is. But I thought that was cool. Yeah.
And when you look back at that medal ceremony, it just feels weird now. I'm like, those guys got fucking medals, and my boy Andor, who granted has been dead for like 48 hours or maybe a little more than that at this point, doesn't like, but he's in like the basements of the rebellion where they have his name on the wall. He has a mug always in the refrigerator.
They chisel him into that temple somewhere. They chisel in the names of those that were lost or something. Could this be the first special edition change that fans would be on board with if they add like Vel and Clea and like Mon Mothma to that scene?
Yeah, I mean, and Mon Mothma not being in any of this stuff, it's like now you feel like when you see her in Jedi, you're like, man, she's been behind the scenes being the strong woman.
Yeah, I know. You got to be thinking like, man, she's been grinding. Like during that celebration scene in A New Hope, it's like, yeah, she must be like putting together a squad. She doesn't have time for celebrations.
I think they said she's, it's like Clone Wars, or she's with the Rebels gang, I think, at this point.
Oh, during that? And there's also a shot where you can see the Rebel ship in this movie, like right around where we're talking. Yeah.
Okay. So that I think I had read that again. It's been, there's so much stuff. And since I don't know any of the Rebel story, when I saw that, I'm like, all right, that's just stuff I am not going to know. I know. So I've met some of the characters in Ahsoka and I've already forgotten all their names. I just know there's the girl with the butt. They kept just popping in our face every time.
Yeah. K2's introduction in this movie hits every time. Congratulations. You are being rescued. Please do not resist. Amazing.
Seeing him in this movie. And I said this after the Rogue One or the Andor final week. It hurts. His death hurts even more now because he's just so fucking great. He is so perfect. And I'm looking back at my review, and I said he stole the motherfucking show. The sass of R2D2 and the wit of C3PO to go along with the brute strength of Chewbacca. I've cared less about real humans dying than I did about K2SO dying. Oh,
you were on the money right away with K2.
Yeah, I mean. I was gonna ask you, is he in like your top 10 or 20? But you probably have like 3,000 Star Wars characters. I think he's in my top 10 for sure. If
we're talking droids, he could.
No, we're not talking droids, Bob. We're not talking droids. Don't you fucking cop out on me like that.
It's too hard for me to on the spot try to put together. Like I would need to sit down in the lab and grind to put down a top 10 characters or something. But like, if we're talking droids, I think it's R2, K2SO, C3PO, BB-8. Like those are the top 4.
You don't beat my guy B2 there, huh? He's like 5, 6, 7. Or you
B2's
also have
5.
Who's
B2's
the guy, the
5.
crazy one with Rebels? Who's the sick fuck that like?
Oh, Chopper. Oh, Chopper's probably 5.
Who's your one? Jeez. Your overall character?
R2. R2's overall character.
Is it Luke?
It's probably Han.
Really?
Yeah, it's probably Han.
See, I thought you were such a babyface guy with Star Wars. I thought you always went to the babyface. Though Han's more the like, he's like the Rock back in the day, or Stone Cold.
The heart of gold, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas Luke's more John Cena, heel turn, right?
Yeah. That's probably pretty accurate.
We're touching everything in the
obviously
basement. We
it's
got
either
Star
Luke or Han.
Wars, wrestling,
Yeah.
UFC. We're touching all the bases for you guys because I'm fired up. I haven't been this fired about Star Wars. I honestly can't. Probably after I wrote this Rogue One recap was probably the last time I felt this way, or maybe The Force Awakens, one or the other.
I love to see you this fired up about Star Wars.
Oh, it's great.
It's just a joy.
And guys, this is why I love doing this kind of stuff with Bob, why I'm in the basement. This is how I like to be. When I get obsessed with my franchises, we started a Game of Thrones podcast before the final season of Game of Thrones. That killed me. It killed me inside. And people said we were too negative. And you know what? Fucking old takes exposed on every single one of our 1-star reviews. And there were plenty of them. These guys they don't like this show. They don't like this season. Fucking old takes exposed. Oh, this is great. Okay, keep it rolling, Bob. I'm sorry.
Now, let me ask you about some of the things in Rogue One that people didn't love at the time.
Okay.
And I feel like looking back, people still don't really like Borgullet and the CGI on Tarkin. You could extend it to Leia, but a lot of people have issues with the fact that Tarkin's a CGI character instead of a recast, and Borgullet is a little weird and creepy and out of nowhere. I got to be completely honest. I don't really have an issue with either of them. I think Borgullet feels creepy in that like Return of the Jedi Jabba's palace way. And Tarkin, I still think looks good. Like, I know I'm not even like, I feel like people are going to say you're lying to yourself. I watched Rogue One at this point, like looking for Tarkin to look bad and still think he looks good.
With Tarkin, I always think he was good for the time and they were just trying to make things work. So I remember it being like, and it's like, oh, like, and then you're getting the tingles of the original trilogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's nice. I can understand it does look weird. And if they could have maybe done some stuff, some shots and reflections, so it doesn't just, and same with Leia. I think all those things do stand. I could love them. You could hate them. You just kind of ignore them. I think by the end, I was kind of like looking at the screen, but like not at Tarkin's face to be like, all right, don't let this ruin it. Like, don't let this take you out of the moment more than anything. Not ruin it. So I can understand where they're coming from. But at the same point, like, it doesn't get me mad. The Borgullet thing, whatever. Like, there's weird shit in Star Wars all the time. You could probably go back again, you could get mad at the Darth Vader "I am your father" reveal and be like, oh, they were just making shit up as they go, even though there is some stuff that kind of leads to it in A New Hope even. So I can't even get mad at those. I'm usually, when I'm mad at Star Wars, it's the much bigger, louder things that people complain about than those things. Though,
and people complain about even like the Cantina guys who are like in the Jedha scene, they bump into the two. I don't like you. My friend doesn't like you either. And that does feel a little like when people joke about Star Wars being like it's glup shitto, like out of nowhere. Yeah, it totally feels like that. I also think it being the first spinoff, they probably felt pressure to do shit like that, right?
Yeah, no, I think they did. I think that's all. I think part of with the crawl and the words and what you're not going to have and the score and all that kind of stuff, it was uncharted territory. This day and age, that would have felt really like, all right? Because now we have all these other shows. But at the time, with the movies, and there were no shows at that point, it was like, I like seeing those guys. It was crazy, but I do
too, yeah.
I'm also the more I can understand where you're like, all right, that felt a little forced, right? Even if you had them in the background but not say anything, maybe it would have been a little less, in your face. But I don't know, man. Pig nose and pussy face. Shout out those guys. I love those guys.
When they introduced the Chirrut and Baze, I think his name is Baze. When they introduced them, my favorite like fan service drop in the movie is Cassian saying they're guardians of the wills, and they guard the Kyber crystal temple or whatever, because the Journal of the Wills was the original title of Star Wars.
Yeah,
that was like in the original title. I think that's like such a good deep cut type thing. And then the scene that follows with the stormtroopers on the tank, the battle sequence, like feels like a fucking straight out of a war movie scene. That's an amazing scene that George Lucas was on set for at least part of it. And I believe he had a suggestion where he said, why don't you pick a different stormtrooper variant to be in the tank? Instead of just putting stormtroopers in there, put a different helmet, put a different character. And it was George Lucas's little contribution to Rogue One.
I didn't realize George I was trying to get my timelines and how everything went there. That's cool. And I remember thinking when this movie came out, it's gonna be the grittier Star Wars. And is it gonna work? Because Star Wars always had like more of a clean look to it all than this like real war movie. And things like that was like, oh no, this really can work. And oddly enough, they kind of went away from it in a lot of stuff, or they just didn't do it right, in the following projects. So it was really well done as it was how it was done here. Oh, and by the way,
love
I'm looking back at my blog here. I said, "Give me pig face and pussy lips guy in every single Star Wars movie." Like it's like they're Forrest Gump.
Stanley.
He's in all these big historic moments. It's like, oh, and there's pussy lips face.
I would be okay with that, I think. And then the whole scene with
Stanley,
K2.
yes, like Stanley, exactly. I just realized what you meant by that.
K2 smacking Cassian in the scene where he's trying to play it cool is so funny. K2 coming in for the save is so funny when he's like, "Did you know that wasn't me?" When Jin fucking shoots the other KX droid. So funny. Donnie Yen is so good in this movie when he introduces himself with an awesome blind action sequence and Baze comes in for the fucking save. I was also thinking during this scene, in canon now, post Andor, is Cassian thinking in his mind like, this is it? Like the Force is fucking willing us together. He's thinking of that Force healer, and he's thinking like, we're in the end game now, and this squad is just coming together. Let's roll with it. Maybe the funniest line in the movie is when they throw the bag over Donnie Yen's face. He goes, "Are you kidding me? I'm blind." that delivery is so good too.
Yeah, and I was thinking about like the Force healer, and I'm like, obviously they didn't know that they were going to do that when they made the movie, but it's just everything from fucking Andor. It's not even poetry or rhymes. It's like just more fucking of the same poem, and we just got chapter 2 and chapter 3. It's fucking so good, dude. It's just so good. I don't even know how they did this. It just blows my mind. I can't believe R2 and 3PO were, not to jump ahead, but I forgot. Did you remember they were in it? I forgot that they were in it all together.
I did, because people shit on that too, and I'm like, oh, come on. Like, they would probably be on Yavin 4 at that time. And it is one of those like, okay, we've randomly cut to the two characters in the middle of like this narrative. But again, they probably felt pressured to not be the first movie where they didn't appear. They probably thought fans would be like, what the fuck? You're breaking the streak for no reason.
Yeah, and at that point, they're thinking, well, we have like there could be like a direction from whoever the top with Iger or someone like, nope, we have to have 3PO and R2 in every single Star Wars project or every single movie until like period. And then at some point they're like, all right, this just isn't going to work, obviously, with timelines and stuff like that, or wherever they could be in the galaxy. But even like they're like, where are they going now? It's like that's something that dumb fucking asshole 3PO would have said.
I also thought it was funny watching Krennic and Tarkin talk, and Tarkin kind of reaming him out. It was funny thinking that Krennic had to deal with Dedra's leaked emails like days before the biggest moment of his professional or biggest moment of his life, not only his professional career, but just like the Death Star's finally about to become operational. And someone's like, listen, we have some fucking leaked emails we have to tell you about. You got to go deal with this in the basement. And he's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Then when they get to Jeddah and go to Saw, and Jin can see like her stepdad's on drugs now. He's fucking crazy. Like, you can't even have a conversation with the guy. But she watches the monologue, the hologram monologue from Galen Erso. And this monologue from Mads Mikkelsen, it could stand toe-to-toe with the best monologues from Andor. Like, her performance, Felicity Jones crying, watching it, almost in that Interstellar type scene like that, crying, watching what you missed out on, but also there's some hope in the message. So awesome. And you get the classic trope of like shooting a door to open it when they're in the cell. People are also saying, why did Cassian say this is his first time in a cell? If he was in a prison in season 1 of Andor, and they're trying to poke holes in that. And Tony Gilroy came out and he was like, he's a spy. He didn't want to tell him about his past, which is such a perfect like cop out for anything.
When you had that thing with all his different names too, Cassian has had throughout the
he was Clem. We forgot that. He was Clem for a minute.
He was part of the fam. I love that. And then the thing is, like, Gilroy, like, if you're gonna complain, you can complain. Hey, listen, I completely get it. We're all fans of shit, and shit will drive us nuts. That guy, Tony Gilroy, will poke a hole in it because it's in his brain, not yours. He has the entire world in his brain, so he can say whatever the fuck he wants, and he's gonna win. I feel I have a bad feeling about this. They stopped it before it happened, so I appreciated that. And again, at that point, you had The Force Awakens and you had the original trilogy and the prequels, and you're like, all right, we're going to keep this rolling. And the fact that they stopped it was like having the long time ago, but not the scroll, right? It was like, you have it, you're in Star Wars, but it's not the same. This is not part of the Skywalker trilogy, which, let's be honest, it's actually the Palpatine trilogy.
I also love the shot of Jeddah City exploding, panning up to the Death Star. That's just like, holy shit, what a cool visual. Also, my favorite line delivery in the movie comes from Ben Mendelsohn as Krennic when he says, "We stand here amidst my achievement, not yours." The way he screams that at Tarkin is so fucking good. I just watched. Did you ever see A Place Beyond the Pines or The Place Beyond the Pines?
I feel like that's a horror movie.
It's not. It's like it's kind of like a sad movie. It's Ryan Gosling, Bradley Cooper, Ben Mendelsohn's in it, and Ben Mendelsohn does this like country accent. He's like helping Ryan Gosling with bank robberies. I just watched it last night, not to completely throw us off track here. It was tremendous, and Ben Mendelsohn was tremendous in it. So I just had to shout out that performance. I love Ben Mendelsohn. He's one of my favorite actors.
He's awesome. That's a big three of fucking actors. You hit me with sad movie. I don't know if that's
dude. It also has Ray Liotta, Mahershala Ali, Rose Byrne, Eva Mendes. Like it's like lights out cast.
Oh, god damn it! All right, sold.
Would recommend. I also wrote, other than the obvious Scarif third act, the stuff in the rain on Edu feels the most like a war movie to me. I don't know if it's just because of the sniper, like looking into the scope. We're really in like trying to. This is like the most vital part of the plan. Cassian's got the mission to fucking kill Galen. He's with the daughter of Galen, so he can't do that, and he's thinking about the daughter and everything. I also love K2 being like, the whole system goes down. Him repeating that line right before they go off on the mission. Really fucking funny.
So the Cassian scene, I think, plays differently in my head than it did when I watched it the first time after seeing him in Andor. And it does make more sense why he pulls it down, right? Because that's not him. He doesn't just follow orders blindly, which I appreciate about him. Right?
And that was also like Andor hammered that home in season 2 of like, don't just follow orders blindly. That's what they were doing on fucking Gorman. Yep. And now you have it flipped here where, he meets Jyn and it's like a little humanity is injected back into him where he's like, fuck, I'm about to kill this girl's father in front of her.
It's like he did give us the potential to blow this thing up here, even if he helped build it, and
is Jyn reminding him a little bit of Bix at times? Obviously not when they wrote Rogue One, but now watching it back, it's like it's been a year or two since he left Bix. Is he getting little inclinations of like maybe she's troubled just like Bix was when she was doing drugs and not in the right state of mind and all that? I don't know.
There was also like I was catching a couple little sparks between them, which I don't know.
It was a little sparks, which it's been years. He thought Bix left him. He didn't know about the kid.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, I can get someone with me who's into the rebellion like me and isn't just ditching me for a random spot in the universe. And it's probably it's best for the Bix Cassian love to have existed by him blowing up. We don't want it to happen, but I feel like if they're on that beach and that fucking tidal wave explosion, whatever, just stops in front of them, I feel like there's some beach sex going on.
It might be. I mean, in that moment, if it just stops like there was a force field in front of them, for sure. They're like, we got to celebrate. That was crazy.
Beach sex cannot be fun, too. That cannot be very fun.
No. Sex on the beach is a good drink name, but can't be good in
theory, like a lot of things, but hard in execution, yes.
The final Galen scene on that bridge is so good, so emotional. Some cold shots of Krennic getting back on the ship when the ship takes off and blows Jyn like back a little bit. That was cool to see. Just a cool like visual and everything. Chirrut shooting down TIE fighters with a fucking space bow and arrow. Awesome. I love that. Does it make sense? I don't know. Fucking he's got the Force, And then when Cassian's confronted about it, he's kind of a dick to Jyn Erso right away. But then, like, his entire monologue, then it does make sense. How much he lost in Andor, how much he's committed to the rebellion. And she's showing up all right, the rebellion works for me today. You're like, and maybe in Rogue One, you're like, he's a bit of a dick to the main character right now. Now you're like, he's being stern, but I get it.
When he's like, did I do it? Did I do it? I'm like shit. I was just mad at you, Cassie, but now you didn't do it, and you don't follow those fucking orders, which was what we love about you. And get off his fucking back. He's been grinding in this fucking rebellion for like since he was a child, just like Jyn. Which there's a lot of symmetry there. Which that was the other thing. A lot of we didn't mention this on the Rogue One on the Andor podcast, but there was people wondering if what was her name, Clea. Him, that was his sister, and Tony Gilroy shut that shit down. Like, no, that would be kind of
I wasn't looking out for the sister in season 2. We kind of forgot to talk about that as well. I know some people were still theorizing. I thought it was like very much like they put a ending on that storyline when Marva was like, stop looking for your sister. She's not out there. Like, this is a fantasy you have in your head. There weren't survivors. I thought that was like her telling him the truth and him having to come to grips with that.
Agreed. And again,
sure, maybe there's like, 1 in a million shot she's out there. And that's one of the things that's on his mind all the time. That's like part of his character.
Yeah, that's a huge part of like the base of this character. And again, if I in the theater, I was probably like, you tell him, Jin. I don't know what this guy fucking sus as hell. And sus wasn't even a word in my vocabulary back then. Now I'm like, Jin, shut the fuck up. This guy is the fucking centerpiece of the rebellion. He's 100% rebellion, 100% overall. Get off his back. So it's funny how that show can change your entire perspective on everything.
And then we get the first Vader scene in the movie, the scene between Vader and Krennic. And I love that Ben Mendelsohn got a scene opposite Vader, and we got James Earl Jones doing his voice in this and everything. The Bacta tank scene, awesome visual. But was including Vader in this movie before the hallway scene a misstep? Looking back, would it have hit even harder if Vader isn't here? And the choke on your aspirations line, I also think, rides that line so perfectly of the prequel, like, classic line, corny line. It's right on the fence of it. I think it's almost like having The Undertaker come out at the beginning of a show to cut a promo, and then the lights go out at the end during the main event and he shows up, and it's still awesome. But looking back, I'm like, I think they should have cut this. And I think his first time on screen and only time on screen should have been the hallway.
If they had mentioned Vader at one point just to like, and not that he's coming or anything, I never thought if they just cut this all together. The choke on your aspirations line, when he says it, and I think I thought this at the time, I see, who's the kid who played Anakin again?
Hayden?
Yeah, I see Hayden Christensen as the guy delivering it because he's fucking lame ass little Anakin, all grown up, and he's doing these stupid puns, right? So that's how I saw it. At the same point, like seeing Vader in the fucking like Bacta milk, and he's coming out. That was cool. Mustafar,
seeing his temple on Mustafar for the first time, that's cool.
Sick. So I appreciated that, but I never thought if they just take that out, then that last scene comes, and when it comes, we'll be talking about it. Everyone comes when it comes, so it's awesome. So I don't know if it could. I guess it could have been even better because it's like everything has failed the Emperor. Let's throw the fucking ace on the table, and even the ace came up short.
Then Jin goes to try to tell everyone about what's happening back at the rebellion. And someone even mentioned maybe Andor pulls the shot. If you wanted to headcanon it now, maybe Andor pulled the shot because he knew people wouldn't listen to Jin in this meeting. And he wanted to bring Galen back to tell him firsthand. And I kind of like that headcanon too. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe that was a thought in Cassian's mind. But my favorite random scene in this movie happens when Jin is giving her whole speech and someone in the back just yells, "What is she proposing?" Every time that makes me laugh. The way it's delivered by that extra. But then when she hits the rebellions are built on hope, I'm back bumped up with the rest of everyone.
I hate half of the rebellion. I learned too.
I know. They're tough to deal with.
Fish guy, the black lady, Bale even has his fucking moments where I'm like, fuck you, Bale. And then he's like, I'm going to go to Alderaan.
He's like, I'm going back to Alderaan. Yeah, and you're like, oh, Bale. And he drops a quick Obi-Wan Leia reference there. That's kind of cool. The person you dealt with in the rebellions. And he's like, I would trust her with my life. That's cool. But him being like, all right, see ya, going to Alderaan. You're like, ooh.
Captain Antilles.
Hit a detour.
Like, we need someone good. Send Captain Antilles. Again, fucking Daniel
All right,
Cormier.
So he does get some respect, yeah. And a great May the Force be with us right before Rogue One gets its official title, and they say, Rogue One, I guess. Like, I like that too. I like the way it gets its title. I like that it's the team name, but the fake team name that they just made up on the fly. All of that's good. And then you get the fucking Scarif for one of the best third acts, not only in a Star Wars movie, it's one of my favorite third acts any movie has.
Yeah, when we got there, I'm like, all right, now how is this gonna? Because I didn't remember just how good it was. I remember some of the moments of it, but how it all goes, and like right off the bat, AT-AT's coming down here, just like, oh no,
AT-AT's on the beach, like not in the snow. Yeah,
Krennic in that fucking war room, and then the explosions going off, incredible.
That moment hit so hard for me. Watching it back, knowing everything that we know in Andor, because it's. In my mind, Krennic knows everything is completely unraveling at that moment. It's like oh, fuck. everything we feared about those leaked emails is coming true. Like the wrong people got those leaked emails and now they're here. And you could see it in his face when you see the little explosions going off all over Scarif, all over the base. And you could just see him and he yells at it. He's like, what are we doing? Just standing here, right? He's like, get to the fire pit, whatever. It's like a famous line he hits there. So fucking good. I'm bumped up just talking about that scene.
We got him bumped up 2 weeks in a row, folks. I don't know. Last of Us is gonna have to bring the thunder next week because that's pretty much, I think, all we have going on.
I love the Shore Troopers. I mentioned them again. I think they're one of the coolest Stormtrooper variants. That this is where we get R2 and C3PO. Probably thought people would be pissed off if they didn't appear. Then the AT-ATs on the beach. Even seeing that, I remember that was in one of the big trailer shots where you see that shot of the AT-AT kind of redirecting, looking straight down the barrel of the camera. It just looks awesome. It looks badass on the beach. It reminds you of a storming the beach war movie, maybe like a Saving Private Ryan, which I rewatched this weekend just because of that. Then the X-Wing cockpit shots, when we get the rebellion coming to lend a hand, they look so old school in the best way. I don't know what they did. Maybe it's just like the lighting. It's like a little dingier. They look straight out of A New Hope. Every cockpit scene, I thought that was so cool. I love that Red 5 again is introduced just to be taken away. I love the scene where they close the shield gates and the X-Wing like crashes into the planet and then kind of slides along the shield. They do so many things in this dogfight and this battle that we've never seen in Star Wars before. I think it's my favorite like space battle or large scale battle we have in Star Wars. Obviously, the trench run is great. It feels like the trench run is very personal, though. It feels like there's like a dozen people out there.
Yeah.
This feels like a large scale, holy shit, this is Star Wars battle.
Yeah, I think the ones we've had after didn't hit in different ways. I don't want to get into what they did in The Last Jedi because I don't remember the starfighters going on, and then there was a million Star Destroyers at one point in Rise of Skywalker or something. I don't remember that. But I feel like this was probably my favorite actual battle scene. There's something about when a bunch of ships come out of hyperspace just does it for me. I don't know what it is. It just gets me going.
Yes. And the stuff on Scarif does such a good job of doing exactly what A New Hope did in their final act. It makes you feel like it's so urgent and time is running out and you've got like seconds on the clock and you are not going to make it. Like it really, every time I watch it, it gives me that feeling. Then you start going into like the claw game stuff where they got to fucking get the stardust and pull it out. And there's little mentions there, like a little cool Easter egg is the hyperspace tracking Easter egg. This is a year before hyperspace tracking would be introduced in The Last Jedi. So they were like teasing things that the Empire knew about for the sequel trilogy, even though it has nothing to do with the sequel trilogy. They were kind of trying to give like a layup there. And you get the K2, sacrificing himself for Cassian and Jyn in this scene where they're in there, he's trying to hold everyone off. And it's still to this day, it's even though we know so much about Andor now, this is the saddest death in the movie.
I think it is, right? As fucked up as it is. And trying to see the lights go out. Dude already died once, came back to life, and it still just crushes you.
Also, Melchi's fucking sad. Like when like he's not a huge part of Andor, but he dies off screen in this movie. Like you see him and then they cut back to him and he's dead. And I forgot that you don't even get to see him die. I was just like, oh fuck, RIP my dog, he's dead.
I saw this. I said the same thing. I thought the same thing. I was like, "Oh fuck!" So Melchi just goes out fucking background character, and they built him up. And I had just rewatched the Prison Break scene recently, and he's fucking a big part of that. I also I reserve the right to change my mind every single day for the rest of my life. I think I'm back to season 1. Andor is better because I rewatched the Luthen speech and I rewatched the Marva speech, and I'm like, shit, like.
Yeah.
I don't know if they just don't have those speeches. They have everything else.
And Nemec's manifesto is season 1 too.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's good
four.
Shit. I could flip flop either day too.
Yeah.
Then we've get the I'm one with the Force is with me scene. All timer. RIP my dog Chirrut as well. So good.
The first time I watched that movie, they stuck out a lot more as characters, but they're more background after Andor to me, as weird as that sounds, because it's.
And I like that they didn't try to force them into Andor. Obviously, he meets them in this movie, but someone said, like, were you ever thinking about putting Jyn Erso in the show? And Tony Gilroy came out today. He's like, that would have been lame. I wouldn't have done that. It would have been forced.
Fuck no. I want Tony Gilroy just to like start lighting people up with questions after questions like that.
Then we get RIP my dog Bodhi, our technician, our former pirate or not pirate, pilot rather, defected from the Empire. Rest in peace to him as well. Good character, not like a vital. He is vital to the story, but not one of the biggest characters, runtime, screen time wise.
I thought that actor and that character were going to be
Riz Ahmed.
huge.
He's really good. Yeah, he's a great actor.
The Night Of was the first episode of Night
Yeah.
Of. It's still one of the best TV shows I've ever seen in my life in terms of just one episode alone. So I thought when he was going to be in it, this was going to be his character was going to crush and become like the biggest star in the world. And character was just meh, but he played his role, you know, and the whole Imperial pilot was a cool twist on everything.
Radis calling for the Hammerhead maneuver, one of the best play calls of all time. When that one Star Destroyer is disabled, we hammerheaded into the other one. Awesome visual, awesome like exclamation point on the battle too. When it's not just X-Wings and TIE fighters, boom, boom, explosion. It's like a thing you've never seen before. A Star Destroyer crashing into the shield gate, and then them that allowing the Rebels to get the plans sent up through the satellite and everything. When she gets to the satellite, I always wonder about that TIE fighter shot that was in the trailer. It was such a great shot. I think we've talked about it on My Mom's Basement. Every time though, I'm like, damn, that was such a cool shot that they didn't include.
Some of the shit from the trailers looked awesome that they cut. They might be if Gilroy gets the bag to do more, I'm just gonna do it's gonna be like the parts of Andor that I didn't include, or the parts of Rogue One that I didn't include.
Although I think they did the right stuff, because like from what I know, I think it was just one extra step on Scarif. So instead of like getting the plans and then fucking sending them up, it was like get the plans, get the satellite, and then go somewhere else to send them. So it was just like, I think they call it a hat on a hat in the movie business, in the picture business. I think it was just like one extra step where they were like, all right, let's make it feel more like time is really like crunching down. And then Krennic could have shot Jyn up there, I thought, but he was just so curious about who she was. He was like, who the fuck are you? Like, how are you the one that's taking me down right now? And then when Cassian shoots him, the prop master came out and pointed out Cassian shoots him with Bix's gun. It's Bix's pistol. And that is such a great detail. And I can't believe Star Wars fans didn't notice it, because the prop master had to come out and be like, hey, I'm surprised no one's pointed this out. It was kind of a massive thing that I tried to include in Andor.
This is like when the Force goes dormant, you know, in all the years after the Empire takes over. The fan base has been fighting each other so long over all the different things over the years that like that doesn't survive. Blinded. Yeah, that doesn't survive. Like everything in Jedi was probably pointed out the minute it came out. There's probably Wikipedia, even though the internet didn't exist, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that no one pointed that out, man, it's just like, hopefully the Force and the Star Wars eagle eyes will be back on top of it. I mean, motherfuckers were pointing out Boba Fett based on the sound of his spurs a few years ago.
Yeah. And then seeing the Death Star just turn and point directly at Krennic. I know people have joked, they say Tarkin 360 no scopes Krennic in this moment. I love that. It's so satisfying watching him look up at the Death Star and being like, you're about to fucking get yours. Obviously sad with Jyn and Cassian on the beach, but this is the sunrise that we knew they would never get to see. And we get Bix and Cassian Jr. or maybe a girl junior, because people have noted it's a blue blanket, but they don't say boy or girl. So I don't know. It could be whatever. And then you get the friggin' hallway scene, which we can't praise any more than we have over the years. It's absolute cinema. One of the greatest things we've ever seen from Star Wars. Into the Leia scene, which I love. I know people are still like the Tarkin thing or a little so-so on the Leia CGI. It works for me. It works enough for me not to be taken out of the movie where I'm just like, oh shit. It makes me just want to watch A New Hope. That's like what it does. And I noted the credits here also go to John Williams, just like season 2, the Andor finale did.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that. The Leia thing, I understand, but I just looked at my blog too. My entire theater went bonkers when they realized this was then rolling right into the New Hope beginning. You can't get those. I'm bumped up just talking about it. You don't get those kind of moments. It's very rare you do. We got them in Marvel, the MCU during the Infinity War Endgame time, and we got this in Star Wars, and we're getting it again because of this show that just came out that has us rewatching everything. It's fucking incredible, dude. It's so good. This leads to the question: is Andor, Rogue One, and A New Hope the best trilogy in Star Wars?
I've seen people saying that, and like, you could truly make that argument. For me, nothing beats the original trilogy, because that's also like the tone of Star Wars that I like the most. It's a little fun, a little goofy, a little kooky. That, like, I love that about Star Wars. It's a little silly. And Andor isn't silly. It takes Star Wars and says, what if it wasn't fucking silly? What if this shit was for real? For the most part, we've got a couple of aliens in this, like the big face alien with the big mouth, like shooting out of the fucking ship and stuff. A little bit of silliness, but just a smidge. It's a microdose of Star Wars silliness. So still, nothing beats the original trilogy. If you were to say pure quality wise, though, like take Star Wars fandom and nostalgia out of it, Andor into Rogue One into A New Hope, yes, is the best Star Wars trilogy, I think.
Yeah. I don't think you could take Empire out of the trilogy and say, all right, now we have the best Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
It's just, that's the movie. I think that still is the movie all these years later. And A New Hope is perfect for what it is. I also love people are saying, if you watch the trilogy and then you went with A New Hope, like everyone has gotten like significantly dumber and like slower. And like
everyone got way dumber very quickly. Especially the Rebellion and the Empire. I sent you a couple of the tweets of people being like, they probably thought Vader was the fucking worst. They're putting together these intricate Empire plans of planet takeovers and mining and this and that. And he comes into the room talking about the Force, and they're like, Jesus fucking Christ, with the Force again, dude. What is this guy talking about? There's also one chair that's open at that scene, and I love the headcanon that it's Krennic's chair. And Krennic was supposed to be in that meeting where he's fucking choking down in first scene. But Krennic, right before that meeting, axed.
I never heard that theory. I absolutely
That's going to be my headcanon, I think. I love that.
And yeah, like Darth Vader is like the guy when you're going through your corporate strategy and someone's like, Jesus will take us home or God will take us home. And it's like, come on, man.
Like,
we're doing
that doesn't, you can't write that on a report, dude. It's great stuff. I'm glad we rewatched Rogue One. It really does get so much better after Andor. And I've been telling some of my buddies that are Star Wars fans that haven't watched Andor yet, I'm like, dude, I know you like Rogue One. I'm telling you, this is going to make Rogue One better, which makes A New Hope better, which makes the original trilogy better. Like, Andor's so good, it makes all Star Wars better. And it makes you frustrated that all Star Wars can't be this good.
Yeah, and the thing that hurts Andor is like, it is like you got to get through and like you don't have like it's not like fucking a root canal, but it's like the first few it's going to start slow, but then once you get to the jail, you're good. And then the first and then season 2, the first few episodes, but you're already hooked from the jail scene and all the different speeches we had talked about. You're pot committed at that point, and you'll coast all the way to Rogue One and then into New Hope, and then you're in this Star Wars fucking bonanza that my brain is in right now. We're kind of doing with KFC. KFC is rewatching, and I'm like, I don't want to lose him in the first 3 episodes because I know a lot of people are probably going to get lost in those first 3 episodes. I also loved, this was just something from the movie I forgot to mention. I forgot this. When the rebellion's like, all right, we're getting the fuck out of here, and then the Star Destroyer shows up in hyperspace. Yes. And I was like, oh fuck, we're screwed. It's over. It's over.
So good. That's a big oh fuck moment. I also did this with Nikki Smokes this weekend. Nikki Smokes yesterday texted me, never seen Andor, gonna binge it today. And I said, dude, it's amazing. You're gonna love Bix.
Oh God, yes.
He asked a couple questions about timeline things or whatever, and I said both seasons start a little bit slow, get awesome a few episodes in. The first few are good, but not mind-blowing, but stick with it. It's super worth it. And he said, I'm fired up. And then exactly 20 minutes after that text, he said, she's a fucking smoke show. Classic Nikki Smokes. Shout out Nikki Smokes.
You said this during the pod about wanting to rewatch Private Ryan, and I saw someone say they wanted a Private Ryan Star Wars show, which, I mean, you could say there are moments of this movie that have that kind of like war scene vibe, but then you're like, that should be the pre-Jedi show, and it's the many Bothans died. And you just have them getting wiped out. Many Bothans, many Ryans died to take down the Nazis. Many Bothans died to take down the second Death Star. I think that could
work. That's
how
to keep Mon Mothma around. That's how to keep Genevieve O'Reilly's lights on.
Yeah, and listen,
her around.
I don't know if you could do it with the original property. I know it's no longer canon, but you know me, if we're gonna start dabbling with original trilogy stuff, throw some Shadows of the Empire out there, and then maybe roll it into a Private Bothan
in there.
Get Dash in there, Throw Shizor, I believe was his name.
Bring back the deep fake Luke from Mandalorian, but do a hologram scene where he just has to talk to Mon Mothma via hologram. It'll look even better that way. Like bring in Billy Lord to play young Leia or something. Like you could have some fucking fun with it. Or I don't know. Everyone still wants Sebastian Stan to play Luke Skywalker. I think he's starting to get to the age where it's like he would have to play post Jedi Luke Skywalker, because I think he's a lot older than Mark Hamill was when they wrapped that up. But fuck it, I'm fine with that too. We're recasting Bale. We're recasting everyone. He broke the seal.
Perfect. I also do have a fast food review for this movie on a rewatch. What do you think about that?
Oh, okay. I didn't even prepare one. This is like putting fast food in the microwave, ain't it? Or the air fryer, maybe. It's even better. Air fryer.
You just tell me if you co-sign it, because I thought of this just before we started recording. So you have your cheesy gordita crunch, right? Which we all know.
Yeah.
It's taking some beloved Taco Bell foods, putting them together and making it better. And I think that's what Rogue One was originally like. Now you're throwing Andor into the Rogue One, which then bleeds into A New Hope. That's your Doritos cheesy gordita crunch. Yeah. So you're getting the Dorito taco inside, and now everything is better. Because listen, I'm not a huge Taco Bell regular taco guy, but you're throwing the Doritos taco, I'm always going Doritos. I'll pay the $1. I pay probably $5 just for the shell if you're going to throw that. So I think
I've been trying to eat a little better. You're going to make me get Taco Bell tonight for sure. With that rant, you talking about how good Taco Bell is, how good the Doritos Crunch Wrap is. I definitely co-sign that. That's a great fast food review.
So shout out to Winnie Gilroy for giving us a Doritos Taco Gordita Crunch.
Yes. And what was the hashtag for this week? Emmy for Pedro?
Emmy for Pedro. And for the fellow Star Wars fans out there that are going to get hooked to it, you get all your original trilogies. There is a doc that Bob recommended to me a while ago, and I never had a chance to watch it, and I have the fire in my belly. Light and Magic. It's all about the industrial lights and magic. First episode is kind of like how it comes together. I think halfway through they start doing Star Wars, then it's a Star Wars episode, an Empire episode, then they talk about Indiana Jones, and then just how it blows up. Computer graphics. There's so many I just laughed by myself, being like, these guys are the most talented, smartest, most beloved nerds in the world. They are awesome. It's on Disney Plus. It's a must watch for any Star Wars fan. And if you're in this,
I gotta watch season 2. Because I heard season 2 is about the prequels too. So if you're like me, if you're a prequel fan, if you're a kid of the prequels, that'll hit your nostalgia bones as well.
I didn't even know there was a season 2 until you said you were to watch it. So I'm about halfway through season 1. But at least for the first few Star Wars, you guys will eat it up. So check that out along with all the other stuff out there. We're back in the basement, baby.
There we go. We're back. All right, sweet.